Really?
Yeah, just the fact that baseball was on behind me was enough for them to be angry.
Stop it.
MLB's the worst. NFL's not even as bad. Two. We're up to two. How are you, kitty? Give it a minute. Let people filter in if they're going to. Got some good videos coming your way. Slugs, what's up? Do I want to play a game? One of my favorite movies. Shall we play a game? Marie Clayton, how are you? Zachary, Kristen, Retro Sonia. Good evening, everybody. How are you all?
Fly. But it's fantastic.
Yeah.
John, hello. David, hello. Joel, Jody, Jack, and Coke for the depression. That doesn't sound like a bad combination. Well, the Jack and Coke doesn't sound bad. The depression, I don't know. Good to see you doing well, Sonia. Sonia? Sonia. Same name, I guess. Different
Red
pronunciation.
Sonja.
Red Sonia. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Conan.
Yeah. That sounds really good.
I'm doing good. Doing good. Quiet night tonight. End of the quiet nights at the bar. Had a bunch of stuff scheduled at the bar this week that you answered to both. Okay. That guaranteed we'd be done early. So we close at 11, but we're pretty much empty at this point. So I figured I'd go live. Got some really fun videos going with for you guys. If you haven't seen them already, doing this thing where I'm showing the kids at work some of the stuff we grew up with. There's a video doing really well that we started talking about Blazing Saddles here on Alive. And our friend and server Alex was telling me how she'd never seen it. And I was going to show her a clip from Blazing Saddles when I realized that I really couldn't. Because any of the really good clips that I wanted to use, it would instantly get me canceled. That's just the way it is. So at this point we pivoted and I did the airplane scene with Coffee. If you've never seen it, Alex did a great job. A sidecar coming up. Thank you, Kristen, for moderating. I showed her the clip with the little kids having coffee on airplane and her jaw literally dropped. It's hilarious watching these kids' jaws drop. Today, I showed one of our servers the commercial for AIDS diet candy, if you remember that, and she thought it was like an SNL skit. Just lost it. And then later tonight, I filmed one that I will be showing tomorrow. It's actually showing two of our young servers watership down. And they're just shocked that this is something, even my buddy Manny, who is a Zennial.
You showed me and I had no clue what that was.
Manny, you're 42. 42 years old, he'd never even heard of Watership Down. And when I tell you I wish I was recording him when he was watching it, they're like shocked. And I'm pretty sure I remember seeing it in school. I think our 5th grade teacher had us read the book. And then we did have to get permission to watch Watership Down. But I don't think our parents knew what they were signing off on. Let's see, Jolene needs a Stella. I can pour that for you. Sounds good. It's a little Stella Artois. Dude, I don't even remember, like, total shock on Watership Down. Like, I don't remember being traumatized by it. Thank you for calling Houston Tavern. This is John speaking. How may I help you?
That was my first time seeing that clip of Watership Down. Let me tell you, I was not expecting that at all. I thought it was gonna be like the Secret of Nim or something like that. I was not expecting for that kind of debauchery.
Grilled chicken, fried chicken, or shrimp? Okay, can you dress it? How would you like the wings flavored? Blue cheese or ranch?
sure?
All right, got a cocktail fried chicken with ranch, 8 wings, going lately seasoned lemon pepper with ranch, and a side of broccoli vegetable. It was about 15 minutes, sir. You can pick it up right now. You're welcome. That was Robert that called at 11 last time.
Ah, look at someone learn.
Someone's learning. All right. What's going on, Luna? Hey, James is in the house. Jan, hello. Jeff, hello. How's the Falcon, dude? Did you see that video today? I had so much fun putting that video together. Totally goofy.
He came here on it.
I flew here on the Millennium Falcon this morning. Can we see the one TV screen in the background? What's on it? I will get a strike. That's why I pivoted the TV away. It's actually baseball, and Major League Baseball is really, really like ridiculous about it. Even I didn't think with volume down it would be a problem, but it is. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's something to the fact that I say I'm a 12-year-old. I've got a 12-year-old heart and an adult wallet because I could not have been. I mean, I'm still happy. I was smiling from ear to ear making that video. MD 2020, we don't have that, Rich, but I'll have to see if I can get it in.
I wish.
It's going well. Over your shoulder, it's on. The one over my shoulder is ESPN2. Let's do this. I think it's far enough away that I'm safe with that, though. So that's just highlights over there.
Yeah, Masters is done already for the day.
White Russian, vodka, Kahlua, and cream. Delicious.
No.
Copyright strikes, yeah, and they'll even stop it sometimes. They'll kill the live. Christmas, I did a live stream of Gremlins. I did a live stream of my favorite Christmas movies over the course of 2 or 3 nights. And for the most part, I got through it okay. I just couldn't rebroadcast it. They let it go live. I think they cut it in the middle of one of the lives, but it was towards the end, so it was okay. But I did a live viewing of my favorite Christmas movies, which are Gremlins and Die Hard. And I got strikes if I tried to play them. Does anyone still drink Alabama Slammer? I don't think even most people would know what's in it. Let's see, Alabama is because it's made with Southern Comfort, and the Slam portion is because of Slow Gin, that's your SL, and then Amaretto. So it's Southern Comfort, Slow Gin, and Amaretto with orange juice. That is Blue Moon on tap. Yeah, Gremlins, you're right, Luna. Gremlins is the one that they cut me off. Still drink Everclear. One of these days, maybe this summer. Mr. Bill is in the house. I won't drink Everclear straight because I'm not a sadist, but we might make some jungle juice.
Jungle juice, baby.
I'd like to buy the world a Coke and keep it company. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I got some Blue MD 2020. Somebody sent me some Orange Jubilee. I drank one. It was delicious, but I saved the other.
The blue one's good too.
Blue one's good too?
Yeah.
Bud Light Lime. I could get on board with a little bit of Bud Light Lime.
On a hot day.
Just got a new jar of moonshine. I only like the flavored moonshines. I don't like the actual moonshine.
Yeah, a little moonshine back there.
Lyndon, hello. Banana MD 2020.
Yes.
Have I tried absinthe? I have not. And for somebody growing up in the bar business, you think I probably would have at least tried it, but nope. Triple Crown and Coke, why mess around? Well, that's like when we were kids. Not kids, but still kids. At like 21, 22 years old. I remember when we'd go out for the night. If we wanted to get hammered fast, that was the entire theory. Why mess around? We would just go out and say, I'll take a 151 and Coke in a short glass and just pound it. Have I ever seen the cult 1980 movie Midnight Madness? First movie Michael J. Fox was in. I haven't, but I'll make note of it. Janie Sue coming in from West Texas. Hey, what's up? Ever had Smirnoff Twisted Green Apple? I have.
Yeah, those are good. Refreshing.
Absinthe makes the heart grow fonder. Absinthe make the heart grow fonder. I like that.
Certainly.
I thought they banned 151. They actually didn't ban it. Bacardi stopped making it. But
It's over here, I think, isn't it?
I don't know where it
It's
is.
right there. It's right there.
Oh, you put it on
The cruise ad one.
So
Between
when
the Hendrix and
Bacardi
Bacardi.
dropped it,
Right there.
Cruzan picked up the so you can still get 151 proof rum. Just Bacardi doesn't make it anymore. Cruzan does. It's called Hurricane Proof Rum. And no, YouTube, I'm not drinking it, so don't strike me.
Look, it doesn't have the little tin. Remember the Bacardi had the little
Oh yeah,
the filter so you wouldn't down it?
Have I watched the VW terrorist commercial yet? Yes, somebody sent me that. Melon balls in the summer at Jersey store. Traumatized, I watched Clockwork Orange at 6 years old. Dude, but at least there's something about a cartoon. When a cartoon is as just incredibly vicious as Watership Down is, and it's still a cartoon about bunny rabbits, that's a special
I wasn't
kind of
expecting
trauma.
that. I wasn't expecting
Even the kids that saw, I'm saving it because I already did one reaction video with the kids, so I don't want to pile them on. I want to give each of these kids a chance to have their video do well, because they get excited when the videos do well. And Alex's is doing really well from this morning. I think she's over 400,000 over on Facebook. But these kids, you watch their jaws drop, and they're like, really? The disbelief is over the fact that we watched it as kids. They can't imagine a world existing where children would watch something like this, where it would be PG no less, which is like, no, kids can watch it. We just want to let their parents know, technically let them know they're watching it. We're suggesting that parents might want to perhaps, get involved here. But it wasn't even like parents, were told something. It was a gentle suggestion that you may not want to traumatize your children. Whoever thought making Watership Down into a cartoon is going to hell. Well, and I remember the book. I don't think the book was as bad. It was just one of those books we read. Wolves Den says, welcome, you've got mail. Dude, I can still hear that when I read that.
You've got me.
I miss AOL.
Oh, that was the
That's
best.
one. It's always funny because I'll talk to people and I'll bring up AOL, and they'll say, "Well, that's a new memory. AOL's not really nostalgic." And I'm like, "Really? It was 40 years ago. How is that a new memory?" I went and looked at. I was at a Comic-Con. That's where I got the Millennium Falcon. And I was at the Comic-Con and I was looking at some comic books. And I asked the guy if he had some old books as well. And he pointed me to a box and I'm flipping through and I'm like, well, these are new. Do you have any old comic books? Because in my mind, the old comic books are the 10-cent comic books, the 12-cent comic books, the comic books that were old when I was a kid. The comic books he directed me to are older now than those comic books were when I was a kid, but they were from the 80s, and I'm like, the 80s isn't old. And he looked at me and thought I was insane. He's like, well, they're 40 years old, dude. I'm like, yeah, I guess they are. The guy who did the voiceover for AOL Mail passed away a few months ago. I remember that. Do I remember you can't do that on television? I do remember it. I didn't get to really watch it because my parents didn't do the whole cable thing when I was a kid. And by the time I got to college and got my own cable, I'd outgrown it.
Alanis Morissette was on that show.
Alanis Morissette was on that. My buddy Manny says Alanis was on that. 80s were 20 years ago. In my mind, if you say, hey, this happened 10 years ago, I'm instantly triggered to 1990. I'm like, oh, okay, so the 90s. Friends was on 10 years ago. Do I remember Planet of the Apes? I do. Absolutely iconic. The moment when you realize what's going on in that movie. Spoiler alert, I won't ruin it for anybody because, maybe somebody hasn't seen a 60-year-old movie.
Damn you.
I miss when TV went off. It's like anything else, dude. When you can watch whatever you want, whenever you want, on demand, nothing is special.
Check it out. The bids are here. That bids on there. So think about it. So what show did you look forward to?
$6 Million Man, any of the superhero stuff. Greatest American Hero, Chips.
Yeah.
I really looked forward to. I love the show Chips. My brother and I would play, Punch and John all the time.
Right.
And it was on once a week.
Right, exactly.
And
I'm saying, because we binge everything now.
Yeah, now. And I binge everything now.
I do.
So if something and first of all, we call it binging because we watch a whole season at once. A whole season might be 6 episodes. At most, 8? When we were kids, a season was 28 episodes. You couldn't binge watch it. We're binge watching. We've been binge watching with my youngest daughter, The Wonder Years. And by binge, I mean we're watching 2 or 3 episodes a night. We're still not done with it, and we've been doing it for months. G-Force was awesome. Do you remember the real name of G-Force? We called it G-Force as well. I think I was a full-blown adult when I realized it wasn't really named G-Force. And actually, if you're a G-Force fan, the voice of Mark was provided, the leader of G-Force, Mark's voice. Well, I'll let you guys answer. Who was the actor, celebrity, voice actor who provided Battle of the Planets? Exactly, Luna. Does anybody know? Was it Jason or Mark? No, it was Mark. Who was Mark's voice? Series. There it is. Melissa nailed it. Casey Kasem was the voice of Mark. He did a lot of voiceover, a lot of cartoon work. He was also Shaggy in Scooby-Doo. He was also Robin on the Super Friends. He also did the voices of 2 different Transformers in the Transformers show, and then he was the voice of the Shaggy-looking guy in what was the cartoon with the cartoon buggy, Speed Buggy. But yeah, now everybody binge watches everything, but we had to, we looked forward to it. Come on. When the helicopter. Oh, kind of like Knight Rider, but with a copter. What the hell? I'm totally drawing a blank.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Starts with an A. Airwolf, thank you.
That's
Holy
it.
moly, I knew it was an A.
Good job.
You guys are fast. When Airwolf would come on, dude, I was so excited. I found out later that Airwolf was scheduled for 3 more seasons. I always wondered why it got cut off so early. But I guess the lead was very problematic to work with, so they had to kill it. Do you have virtual water? I'm a virtual alcoholic. I can virtually help you with that. BJ McKay and his best friend Bear. What was it about the 80s and monkeys?
Everywhere.
Everyone had a pet monkey in the 80s on television.
It wasn't all Capuchins.
Right. And Cheetah from Tarzan, BJ and the Bear, even like cartoons, even space like Zan and Jaina, the Wonder Twins from the Super Friends had a space monkey as their pet. Even the toys. Jan Michael Vincent. Yeah, I'm not sure what it was he was on, but there were some issues. Ape, not monkeys. Chimps are apes. Oh, well, thank you, JTR. Left Turn Clyde, there's that one. Magilla Gorilla, Grape Ape. Bananas in Pajamas had monkeys too. Then there was Banana Splits. I don't know exactly what those were. Wonder Twin Powers, Activate. Don't drink. I'll take a bong rip at the table.
We can make bong water. We're not make those.
First Ghostbusters cartoon had a gorilla. First Ghostbusters cartoon was so different than the second one that they had to call the second one the real Ghostbusters. There was a movie with a talking monkey in it. I think it was called Going Bananas. There was also one with Joey from Friends. Matt LeBlanc was in a Monkeys movie.
Yes, he was.
And then, of course, Friends itself had a monkey.
Yes, it did.
And that monkey was the monkey from the movie with Dustin Hoffman in it about the pandemic.
Outbreak?
What's Outbreak?
There's a monkey from Outbreak?
There was a monkey from Outbreak.
Maurice was the monkey from Outbreak.
Maurice was the monkey from Outbreak. Marcel.
Sorry. I'm not a huge Friends fan.
Battlestar Galactica, Trading Places had a gorilla at the end. Yes, JTR, although I will say that the gorilla in Trading Places is not what I remember from Trading Places.
Oh, okay.
I'll just leave it there. Giving Leo a shout out. What's going on, Leo? Brian, St. Elsewhere, one of the best series endings ever. Can I drive a stick? I definitely can. I had 2 sticks growing up. One was a Jeep Wrangler. One was a Eagle Talon. That's it, Rich. Project X, more monkeys.
Project X, I love that.
We're not done
Matthew
with
Broderick,
V,
that was
the
amazing.
final battle. V, the miniseries. V, the miniseries, I've probably watched beginning to end 5 times. I keep going back to it. It's my favorite miniseries. And then they brought it back for a second miniseries. And then they brought it back for an actual show, which didn't do as well. But I loved that show.
Matt LeBlanc was Ed.
Ed?
It was a baseball movie.
Yeah, I knew it was baseball, but there's a monkey in it,
Yes,
right?
Yes. Chimpanzee that pitches.
Eagle Talon, a.k.a. Mitsubishi Eclipse,
AKA
the Plymouth Laser.
Yes.
So that was what they called Diamond Star Productions, and it was a joint venture between Mitsubishi and Eagle and Chrysler. So those cars were technically all made by Diamond Star, but they were sold under different names. Plymouth Laser, the Mitsubishi Eclipse, the Eagle Talon.
Isn't the LeBaron the same thing? Aren't there like 3 different?
LeBaron was the LeBaron, the Lancer,
Right.
and I think it was just those two.
They're all the little
Yeah,
convertible.
well,
box,
and that's what
exact same
Iacocca
car.
did. Iacocca created, like, he did the K car with one basic structure, and then just kind of changed things up. Thank you, Matt.
The bag that he comes through.
And
what were
then
some first
Ford
cars?
did the same thing.
What were some first cars? I'm interested.
First car. So my first car was a land yacht. I've talked about it. It was a 1968 or 69 Chevy Impala.
Wow.
And a lot of us
is a
had
yacht.
cars that were older than we were. That was almost like a prerequisite. Your first car was going to be what we call the beater. Parents realized that we were going to get into accidents, or they just didn't believe in spending a lot of money on us. So my first car was that. It was just a beater. Somebody had a 1991 Ford Escort. Ooh,
Nice.
Florida man, that's was it the Ford Escort Sport? Because that almost makes it cool. Melissa, you have to leave the chat now. If your first car was a 69 Camaro, I can no longer like you.
Wow.
75 Monte Carlos, 67 Pontiac Catalina, 72 Super Beetle,
Pontiac.
87 Suzuki Samurai.
What? The little box Jeep?
It was not a Jeep. Those
But
of
it
us
looks
that
like a
I
Jeep,
know, it doesn't matter. Those of us that had actual Jeeps hated it when y'all called your Geo Trackers or your Suzuki
no,
Samurais
Suzuki was
or your
different.
Suzuki Sidekicks.
The Suzuki was different.
No, they were not
The
Jeeps.
Geo Tracker? No.
They were
Suzuki
not
was different.
Jeeps. It was a Suzuki. That means it's not a Jeep. Jeep was a Jeep. Sartan says it was better than a Jeep. 88 Plymouth. First car was my feet. 75 Rambler. 70 Ford pickup. Lots of pickups. Not sure what year, but a Gremlin.
Ooh. The yellow?
1953 Dodge pickup. That might be the oldest one I've seen yet, Matthew. Matthew, what year were you born?
Where are you from? That's
That
gotta
you
be
had a
Midwest. That's gotta be
1953
Oklahoma
Dodge
somewhere.
pickup.
Oklahoma somewhere, lots of open space. Texas.
I always wanted a Subaru Brat. 1972 Cutlass. 77 you were born and you had a car that old, the truck that old. Dude, that's epic.
Was it hands down?
Oh, I'm sure. Was it a hand-me-down or did you buy it? Either way, it's pretty
It's
kind of
awesome.
cool.
That's awesome.
When there was no shame involved. I don't know anybody that was shamed for driving a beater. Today, if you go to the lot across the street, to the high school here where I am, it looks like a new car lot.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Not my kid. My kid's first car was definitely older than she was, and she was embarrassed. She was embarrassed. She's like, I've got to drive this thing, but within 6 months of driving that car, she'd gotten into 3 or 4 fender benders. She didn't change the oil until she was well past 9,000 miles.
Sheesh.
I mean, I knew what was going to happen, so there was no way in the hell. But kids today it was his grandmother's, his abuela's, and he was proud to have it. See,
Abuela, baby.
David, what's going on, buddy?
Abuela hooked it up.
David, it's like me with the Falcon, and now I have my dream truck, and I'm getting old. Dude, I love it. We weren't ashamed. We loved our cars, no matter how beat up they were. My Impala would die at the light sometimes. I'd get stuck at a red light, and it would just drop dead. I'm like, that's it. And I'd have to pop the hood and choke. I knew how to choke it so that I could start it up again, and it would get me going again. But we also knew stuff. We knew stuff about cars. Function over fashion. My first car was my pop's old C10. There was major
I don't know what
love.
that is.
I don't know, a Ford Fairmont. Everybody loved their first cars. They had character. We named them. We bought accessories for them. We
Yeah.
decorated them.
Faceplate. I changed the faceplate on mine.
I always joke, and I'd like to joke and say that the fastest I ever went in my car was in the back seat, because those things were like it was like a double bed back there. But if I'm being 100% honest, yeah, no, no, I wanted Star Trek toys all through high school, which tells you exactly how much action I got in the back seat of my car. But college was different. Called it Shamrock. Oh, I'm sure a lot of you guys have nicknames for the cars. Still name your car today? I don't name my cars anymore.
Been a while.
Can I solve a Rubik's Cube now? You might be able to. Truly, I absolutely cannot, nor will I ever be able to. And for the 53.72 thousand of you that keep messaging me, telling me that you're the one that can teach me, talk to my friend Mark. He's brought in.
It's been a while.
He's brought in a Rubik's Cube.
That
He
lights
wrote.
up.
He
It
wrote that
lights
lights up. It even tells me where to turn. He gave me. My brain just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. I'll never be one that can learn. Can't do it. My Blazer's seated 12 or 16 if really friendly. How about a Rubik's Cube battle? Dude, there's no battle. I can't do it. It would last. Yeah, exactly. It would last eternity. Had a 72 Beetle. I could fit 8 in my 82 Volkswagen Rabbit.
No way.
Well, you could if you had to.
I think my parents had a Rabbit at one point, man, and that thing was tiny.
Oh, they were tiny. But
Yeah.
if you had to, we made it work. People would always say, "Can I get a ride?" And I'm like, "Dude, we're full. We're full." And they would show you that, no, you're never full. If somebody had to go across... First of all, the bench seats we had in some of the land yachts were ridiculous. Both front and back. I could probably fit 4 in the front, 5 in the back, easily. And then if with like small children, we had like 2 or 3 of them that would sleep in the back on the window, like on the little ledge where the window is. They could just sleep right there in the sun. How you doing, boss?
I got it.
Joseph? I'll be right here. Come here. Anybody else remember that? Like, you know where the back window goes
Yeah.
and there's that little
Yeah,
ledge
space,
there?
yeah.
As a kid, I would sleep there.
The speakers used to be there.
Well, yeah. But it was like the best seat in the house because it was completely flat. And when you were little, you fit there perfectly. And the sun would beat down. It would be so warm
You
and
ever see
cozy.
the pictures of the old kids, the kid seats?
No.
They would be attached to the dashboard.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Imagine that now.
Hey, John, 65 baby, love your channel. Appreciate it, doorway to nightmare. I like your name. Erin says she also slept back there, back of the station wagon, until your dad hit the brakes. I rolled out of there more than once, I'm sure. We had a Ford Pinto. You do not want to get hit in the rear on that one. We had a lot of Flintstones cars. Do not fall asleep and let your leg go through the massive hole. I had a Chevette. So at this point, I think I had my actual car was an actual LeBaron, but my brother had ruined his Honda Accord hatchback. So since he was in college, my cars weren't mine. My parents helped us out. So we traded. I gave my brother my LeBaron, and my parents got me a Chevette. And the Chevette was a Flintstones car. I could put my feet through the floor. And when you went fast and looked down, you would see the road through the rusted floorboards underneath, and you always kept your feet up so that you didn't hurt yourself. Take care, boss.
On the ledge. I had my foot there.
Mom had a Corvette. I had a ride one. Dude, that's sweet.
It feels good.
Nobody had, how about bikes? Did anybody ever have motorcycles? I had a dirt bike, but I never had a motorcycle. Did your parents have an 8-track collection? A lot of my mom's, like the stuff that she brought, so my parents immigrated from Greece in 64. By the time I came around in 70, like all of my mother's music that she still had was on 8-track. All the Greek albums, all that was on 8-track. And we had one of those Jahunga-sized furniture stereos that you would lift the top up, and there'd be the record player, there'd be the radio, there was an 8-track. And that's what my mom listened to. She also loved Glenn Campbell. I see you, Roger. Living in New Zealand, we grew up different. Had an AMF Harley. Oh my God, biggest piece of shit ever. I had a GT80, I think it was a Yamaha, as a dirt bike. We had family friends that had bikes that would take us. Like, I do remember one of the worst burns I ever got on my leg was on a bike muffler. I got too close to where the muffler was, and I burned the back of my calf. And I still remember this. I probably was only 7 or 8 years old. And I remember running into the house without telling my mom that I had burned myself badly because I didn't want to get in trouble. And I just remember jumping in the tub and pouring cold water on it. And then my memory goes dark because my mom probably found me, and God knows where it went from there. The only thing I'm sure of is that a doctor's visit probably wasn't part of the treatment. Big Island is where I'm at now. Nice. Huge blister and a lot of pain. Absolutely. I think more than a few of us have done that. I loved my dirt bike as a kid, though. I burned my leg, too, wearing cutoffs on a motorcycle. It's just way the hell too exposed. It's right there. The muffler's right there. They still do that, or do they just not let kids on them anymore? I burned my leg, too. I grew up with go-karts. I never had a go-kart. We had dirt bikes, and we had a snowmobile. My dad put on an Elvis 8-track when we heard he died. We were coming back from the mall, and he bought me a Shogun Warrior. I remember the moment Elvis died. We were actually overseas in Greece for the... What month did Elvis die? I want to say it was summer. But there was a period of time when my parents tried to move us back to Greece. And that might have been the year. When did he die? Was it 77?
Elvis, August 77.
77. Okay. So that was the year my parents decided we were going to sell the house, sell the restaurant, and move back to Greece. My mom was desperately missing her family, and so we left in May of 77 and lived in Greece until September, and then the restaurant didn't sell, so we had to come back and try again, and then we just never left again. So I do remember that I was in Greece when Elvis passed, because all my cousins were like completely shocked by how bad it bothered us that he died. Desert says he didn't die. He's here in Vegas. JTR says I was sad when 3-wheeled ATVs were no longer available. Pitts Knife says, Jay, John, you handsome such and such. Colorado Bulldog, please. I'd love to see Greece as art, and you're going to see it secondhand. I will be there most of July this year. We closed our tickets. We'll be leaving July 2nd and staying through the 23rd. So expect to see a lot of Greek-oriented content for the month of July. My wife is Greek as well. We want to get over there before... We still have a lot of family there. We'd like to see them and show my kids. My kids have never been. So it'll be the summer where you guys will get a little bit of Greek on the feed if that's something you like. Been a long time. My wife and I have been married over 22 years, and we've been planning this trip for all of it. So we're really happy that we finally are able to do it. And you guys are a big part of us finally being able to do it. The extra income from doing this as well as working put us over the top. So thank you. Literally grateful for all of you guys. Elvis is everywhere. Elvis is everything. Speaking of Elvis, I did get to see Priscilla Presley a couple weeks ago. She looks incredible. She was at the Comic-Con that I was at, and I think she's going to be at the one I'm going to be at in Dallas in May as well. Just saw the Millennium Falcon video. I love, love, love that you played outside with it. Do you guys remember loving something so much, whether it was a doll, action figures, no matter what it was, the epitome of loving a toy so much is begging your parents to let you sleep with it. Paul gifting memberships. Thank you so much. Mr. Blackstar, dude, you've just been gifted a membership by Paul Lahosky. I have some videos that go out to members only, but for the most part, it's just a way to support the page. So, and it's also a way for members to help other members. Oh, dude, M. Rob gifting $30. Have a drink on me when in Greece. I appreciate it, dude. Oh. Thank you so much, M. Rob. I appreciate you, buddy. You're always helping to support. I don't realize it. And actually, let's see. Okay, I already did. Sweet. Am I in New York? I grew up in New York. I grew up in Rochester and then later Buffalo. I lived in Bronxville, near Yonkers for a little bit of time. Mr. Blackstar, thank you for the $1 tip, dude. Appreciate you. All adds up, guys, and I appreciate the sentiment more than the amount. Thank you guys so much. But yeah, the whole idea of sleeping with something. And I remember my mom being like, are you crazy? But the idea of sleeping with it was so that you had your hands on it up to the last possible moment. So that like you fell asleep holding that thing, and then you woke up and it's right there too.
There.
Girls did it with dolls. Boys, it's amazing. That was such a big deal. That was even like pets or puppies. My mom would not allow dogs in the house, but when we finally got a dog, I would have given anything to have let it sleep with me. I had a stuffed monkey till I was 8. Again with the monkeys. Only time I didn't have it was when I went to school. Well, my daughter Cleo, who's 13, you guys see her on the podcast a lot, on the lives a lot. She's in Florida right now with school, and it's the first time she's traveling without her Snuggie. And she went to pack it, and she's looking at it, and she's realizing that she's got 3 other girls she's rooming with, and she's like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to take it. Dude, thank you for signing up, Quinn. I appreciate it. New Zealand in the house with an honorary extra status.
New Zealand, baby.
I still sleep with my... And it wasn't so... Part of her was like, I don't want to take it and have them see it, but more, she was afraid that something might happen to it. It's irreplaceable. She's had this thing since birth. My cat is next to me when I'm on the bed right now. That's cool. Shall we play a game? If you ever check out my merch store, you'll see there is a t-shirt, one of my favorites, that says, shall we play a game? It's actually the screen print from the computer. Yes, the one I sang Ice Ice Baby with, Paul. And that video was a couple years old. I finally got her to let me share it. Slept with a stuffed panda till I was 14. No problem, Pit Snipe. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. I appreciate you. Drink plenty of ouzo when you're in Greece for me. I more than likely will drink some at least. Hey, Agapolis. Good day, mate, from Australia. That's probably the worst Australian accent ever. Did I have Underoos? I did not. We had generic underwear. At best, Fruit of the Loom. My mom wouldn't pay for things that other people couldn't see, and there was no way she was letting me run around in my underwear.
What about the kangaroo sneakers?
I did have kangaroo
Those are
sneakers,
cool.
but only because that was when we started
the zipper,
locking
right?
our door
The
for the
pouch.
first time.
Yeah.
So that's where my mom put our key.
Those are the best.
Those are the best. And a quarter to call someone who cares. Although I didn't have Underoos, I did spend more time than, probably hours and hours every day with a bath towel safety pinned to my back. Yeah, I love my Roo shoes, but that's it. My mom was like, here is a quarter in your house key, and that went in my sneakers. Because we had a little zipper there we could fit. That's all it would fit. Before that, usually our sneakers are bought at the Bino Sneakers, which was on the end of the aisle at the supermarket. It was just this giant bin, and they would just throw sneakers in there, and they would tie them together so that when you pulled one, it would pull the other, and that way you'd be able to check for size. And it was some strange plastic concoction that they used. It's like pleather. You know, kids don't want to crease their kicks today. These didn't crease, they cracked. Yeah, we called them Bobos. And those were embarrassing. My mom still has Star Wars blankets from '77. That's pretty cool. Please show your Gen Z kids Blazing Saddles. Dude, I want to. Today I'm showing, I can't figure out what to show them from Blazing Saddles. I can't go N-word hard R on my page. It was funny then because Richard Pryor was involved in the writing and it was a different era and that kind of language was on Sanford and Son and you can literally hear it on the Jeffersons. Yep. And it was just more, today it's different. So I can't do that. I won't do that. I guess I could. I'm not going to. I think I don't judicate the past. I don't judge what we did. But today isn't then, so I'm not going to do it. So I can't find something from Blazing Saddles that I can show them. Maybe Bring Us Your White Women. That's probably the scene, but I don't think it's shocking enough. Homemade stilts, I did that. Dan the Breaking News Man. We would take soup cans, put them on our feet with like rope and just like, what were they? Because they sold them too, but we always did the homemade ones. Benzene? I don't know what that one is, Quark. Mongo punching a horse? Maybe. But I mean, the thing about the airplane scene was it was jaw-dropping. The minute that little 6-year-old girl said she takes her coffee black, like her men, I mean, that's a
Yeah, you don't pop that now.
You know,
It's not gonna happen now.
so it's got to be a moment like that. Buffalo's playing the Panthers in Charlotte this season. Are you going to go? I'd like to. Depends on the cost.
Without a doubt.
But if I can make it work, I plan on being there. Turkey don't want no help. Turkey don't get no help. That's a Mel Brooks. You guys listen. My email address is genxjono80@gmail.com. It's on my link tree here in my bio. If you've got ideas of things, don't put it as a DM. I almost never see those on any platform. That's just, I'm way, way, way too outnumbered at this point. But if you throw me an email, if you've got a good suggestion for a clip that won't get me canceled, I'll show it to them.
But I mean, we looked for a lot.
We looked.
We went through a lot.
And there's stuff that's funny, but it's not shockingly funny. And then there's stuff that's shockingly funny, but it's so shockingly funny we can't do it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be just movies, comedians. If there's a comic riff that's particularly good. Today I shared with one of the girls here the AIDS commercial with the AIDS candies, and she was shocked. Patrick says Mel Brooks is the best comedy director of our time. I can't argue with that.
Good.
History of the World Part 1, probably something in there, I would think. Caddyshack bar scene. Caddyshack candy bar scene.
There's a lot of Caddyshack. Because I looked through, there's a bunch of Caddyshack. It's all one-liners, you know? Like, it's good.
It's funny.
It's good.
But it's not shock, again.
Yeah. Like you see Bill Murray when he's
Spaceballs cracks me up. We looked at a bunch of them.
Yeah, major asshole.
The turkey giveaway, believe me, I do something with that every single Thanksgiving. So for WKRP, come November, it'll happen. Give me a clip, but don't get me canceled. Okay, I can't. That's the point. Saddle scene, it's two. Ludicrous speed now, I love that.
Ludicrous speed.
And did you know that one of the Teslas, I guess one of the speed settings for it is ludicrous?
Oh, beautiful.
He put it in there. So I thought that's kind of funny.
Ludicrous speed.
Robin Hood Men in Tights, the Achu scene.
I am a true
Dwarf on
father
Golf.
of knees.
Dwarf on Golf, that was Tim Conway, right? The radar is jammed.
It was jammed.
It is a very fine line, without a doubt. It's a very fine line. And it's not just the threat of cancellation. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to put anything out there on my page that will legitimately bother somebody. Being offended isn't a punchline. It can happen. Samson, thank you so much.
The triggers happen.
You know, I don't want to offend anybody. Now, if they're offended over silliness, then that's on them.
We didn't do the cockpit scene because, I mean, that could be, you know.
I might do the cockpit scene.
Why not?
I mean, it's only a kid.
I know.
They've gone plaid.
Oh, he's going all Spaceballs.
Samson, thank you so much. I appreciate the tip.
Comb the desert.
It was definitely Tim Conway.
Man, we ain't found shit.
Well, so we've talked about it on our lives before. And in the world we grew up in, intent was everything. Intent mattered more than anything else when it came to being offensive. No, it's dead at work tonight. If the intent was to entertain and amuse us, they could pretty much get away with almost anything. Because we would gauge the intent. And if we bought a ticket, Samsung, thank you again, dude. Another $1 coming off Samsung. Appreciate you, buddy. Majority of childhood is not safe for the modern audience. It's not. Because they can't gauge the intent 40 years later. Tom Collins, gin and sour mix. I can make it from scratch.
You got a birthday coming up? Take
Schwartz, Dust Seed, and Spaceballs. I gotta parse that out. There's got to be a few there. And May's coming up, so for the Star Wars Day, May the 4th, we might do something with Spaceballs. And of course, something with the Millennium
I was
Falcon.
gonna say, you just got the Falcon. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be a centerpiece.
Well, I might get an X-Wing fighter. I missed that too.
Not so bad.
I like when you hit the button and the wings would open. I appreciate it, Samson. Thank you so much. Long Duck Dong.
Yeah, I looked at that one too.
Was there anything bad with that?
It's just the whole persona. Like the kids now, they don't do that. It's not their jokes
Yeah.
anymore, you know.
I see your Schwartz is bigger than mine. Well, genetics were good to me. I survived the dumb blonde jokes of the 80s and 90s, and I'm still here. What's going on, Robert? What's up? Nada.
You on IG Live? What's up?
What's that?
Are you on IG Live?
YouTube. Usually a couple of closest friends.
Spaceballs the lunchbox. Spaceballs the soup. Spaceballs the sweater. Yogurt.
Susie Boggs coming in with $2. Thank you so
Nice.
much, Susie. I appreciate you, honey. It's making up for the tips I didn't get at the bar today. WKRP phone cops. You guys know I just learned that there was a new WKRP in Cincinnati. They must have done horribly because I just found out about it. After WKRP went off the air, they brought it back as a spinoff, its own spinoff. I didn't know
new
that.
WKRP?
The new WKRP in Cincinnati. I never saw a single episode. And I love WKRP, so it's crazy that I had no idea. Was it just a Cali thing, the kissing bandit? It sounds familiar.
That's the lady. She'd run on the field and like. kiss
Yes,
people.
yes, I remember that.
Streaker.
It sucked, says Madcap. Yeah, I figured it had to be pretty bad. Probably around the same time as Aftermash, which also sucked. Paul, welcome to the Honorary Xers. Thank you for joining, buddy. I appreciate the monthly subscriptions, guys. It's not a lot, but like everything else, it helps support the page and it allows me to keep making content.
I know it's an unpopular opinion, but when MASH came on, it was time to go to sleep for me. I was done with MASH.
We never watched MASH as kids.
I didn't watch MASH.
It wasn't a kid's show. I appreciate it a hell of a lot now, but at the time, yeah, MASH meant time for kids to go to bed.
MASH was night over.
It is hilarious. Not just was, it is now more so than it ever was. And it also, I didn't realize that for the longest time, my parents not only watched MASH, they watched Trapper John MD with Pernell Roberts. And I had no idea that that Trapper was loosely or closely connected with the Trapper on MASH. I think they're actually supposed to be the same character. And then for the longest time, I didn't realize that the guy on Trapper John MD was the same actor that my dad watched on Bonanza as Adam because he looked completely different. Last one, MASH song was Bedtime for All of Us.
That was it. Game over. It was game over when MASH came on.
My dad was a vet and watched every episode of MASH with him. Well, and that's the thing. When MASH came on, of course it was part of the Korean War. But a lot of us in our memory tie it together with the Vietnam War because they made no bones about it. Yes, it was set in Korea, but it was an analogy. It was analogous of the Vietnam War and what was happening then. Quincy MD theme song was your bedtime theme. I remember loving Quincy. It also was one of those shows that it played in syndication and would be on during the day, like Saturday afternoons at 3 o'clock. So that's where I caught that.
That one didn't make it to reruns in New York.
Angela Hardy, how are you? Baba Black Sheep, I remember that. With Robert Conrad. Robert Conrad was a tough dude. He was the guy, if you guys remember, that did the commercials with a battery on his shoulder and he would dare you to knock it off. I don't know what sense that made. He was also one of the best competitors on Battle of the Network Stars. Robert Conrad, he was always like the guy that if they needed him on their team to win, he was the guy that came through. Two people that made huge differences in Battle of the Network Stars. One was Robert Conrad. The other was Lou Ferrigno during the tug of war. They crushed it with Ferrigno. Agreed, Janet.
If you watch Pumping Iron,
Save the Lemmings. What's going on, bro?
Lou Ferrigno's part in Pumping Iron, where they show him like trying to get to Arnold's level and getting ready for it. It's one of the best parts of the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
You never watched Pumping Iron?
Never seen Pumping Iron.
Is a really good movie.
Saw Over the Top.
Well, I mean, over the top. My hat is like a switch.
Did you all see Over the Top? That's how great sports movies were when we were growing up, that they could even make one about arm wrestling and have us cheering in the theaters. They need to have a battle of the streaming stars. M-Rob, from your mouth to God's ears. If we could get a bunch of us together, same place, same time, I think that would be awesome.
Talk.
We can even get the young YouTubers. Let's get us old streamers against the young streamers. We could have Gen X, Gen Z, millennials, split it all up any way we want. We should talk to YouTube about it. They get us together. YouTube just had a combine up here in Charlotte that I was invited to. How do you donate? A couple different ways. I think they can walk you through it, but I think there's a button somewhere on here that allows you to do a super chat where you can basically choose whatever denomination you wish. The other way you can do it is by clicking join this page, and that allows you to set up a monthly subscription. Space 1999 could not have been more wrong about what 1999 could have looked like. Zennials, I would go against the Zennial. My producer here, my buddy, my pal.
Hello.
My pal Manny is all Zennial all day long.
1982, baby.
I wouldn't want to face him in a tug of war, but I'd take him on maybe no, not dodgeball.
I can go. You don't want to go.
I don't want to go against him with dodgeball. His arms are like this. No, maybe
Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's Cube. No, obstacle course.
Oh yeah.
I bet you I could take you in the obstacle course. Spelling bee, Rob said.
Yes.
Do you know, dude, you're funny. The only 3 trophies I had growing up was 1 spelling bee and 2 history bowl trophies. Athletic, I was not. This specimen of athletic prowess you see before you took time to develop. But dodgeball would always be fun. I hated it then, but that's only because I was legally blind and they took my glasses away. Linda Carter coming out of the pool during the Battle of the Network Stars. Yeah, that's a memory we all have. Good day, Nicole. We want to pump
You up.
Kickball. I was good at kickball, actually. That was the kickball was one of those things we could all do a little bit. I love my Zennials. I love the millennials on my page. Some of the older millennials that I've got on my page are awesome.
That's wrong with an elder millennial.
Yep.
That's terrible.
They call you geriatric, actually.
Oh,
You're a
God,
geriatric
that.
millennial. Yeah.
I'm like 2 years
Dude,
removed.
but here's the thing. You look at Gen X and you look at the geriatric millennials, and some of y'all look a hell of a lot older than us.
It happens.
Well, you guys internalized all the drama and pain. You want to see someone that looks like life has beaten them down with a wiffle bat? It's a millennial. They had it rough too, but we were taught to just stuff it down in some deep dark place. Those poor millennials were told to talk about it. Their parents, when the boomers started raising them, all of a sudden they had a change of heart and told them they were allowed to feel their feelings, and those feelings are eating the fuck out of them. It's a mistake. It's a bad idea. We just stuffed it down and we're like, okay, I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to ignore it. I'll deal with it tomorrow. Just keep it coming. Just keep stuffing. And there must have been a hole on the other side because it's gone. I'm not saying all, but no joke, man. Some of those millennials, man, that and the younger ones, the vaping is drying them the fuck out.
No. The Gen Zers are aging.
Gen Zers are aging, but it's the vaping. You guys, your nicotine will be the end of you. You guys are just vaping. And so we smoked as kids, but we had to hide it. You know, we lied. I'm holding it for someone else. These kids with a vape, they can do it anywhere. There's no smell. There's no evidence. The only evidence is we find the vape sticks in their cars, and then they still try. Like my daughter did for a while. She's like, it's not mine. I'm like, don't give me it's not yours. Please, be a little more.
I'm holding it for a friend.
I'm like, really? You're giving me I'm holding it for a friend? No, because her parents get really mad at her if they find them. I go, well, guess what just happened to you? That's why we don't care about anything. It's not that we don't care. We care about a lot of stuff. We don't let ourselves fixate on the stuff. Hey, Gina, we don't let ourselves, and I'm saying this broadly, and I know it's not true for everyone. I get that. But a lot of us will not let ourselves fixate on something that we can't control. If we can't fix it, if we can't put a plan together to deal with it, then we just put it, and it drives our kids nuts.
But that differentiates us from them 100%.
I know, but it drives our kids nuts. They're like, how can you not care? I'm like, it's not that I don't care. I quote my dad, what do you want me to do?
I have a bubble. Whatever's in my bubble matters. Whatever's outside of the bubble, too bad.
No. That's just the way it is. Because it is what it is. There's certain things we just say all the time, and it also drives my kids nuts. When they hear me say it is what it is, they just want
It
to
is
throw
what it is.
things at me. I'm like, well, what do you want me to say it is? It is what it
It
is.
is what it is.
Sorry. That's it. Life's not fair. You guys ever hear that one from your parents? Life's not fair? We were told it constantly, and then we turned around and tried to protect our kids from an unfair world. It doesn't work.
Try to make everything fair.
Yeah, tried. Shit happens. I like it, MK. Can't control it, don't worry about it. It's because what good will it do?
That's the Forrest Gump one right there.
Lester says it drives my wife crazy. It is the absolute truth. We wore pins, Mr. Blackstar, that said life's a beach or life's a bitch. Both. Yes. You want fair? Wait till it comes back to town. Lonnie Anderson. Another WKRP,
Lonnie.
good memory. I say that a lot, John. It is what it is. Yeah, Dixie, we all say it a lot. And then the other thing is, so we grew up saying things like life's not fair. We grew up saying things like it is what it is. Shit happens. That's just the way it is. It's whatever. Whatever was a big one. Now, what I hear us telling each other, I can't tell you how often I hear Gen Xers tell one another or tell other generations that you got this. I am here to tell you, if a Gen Xer specifically tells you you got this, that means we don't know what else to tell you, and odds are you're really fucked. If it comes down to the point where we tell you the best advice we have, because we try to give advice to one another, we want to be helpful, but if all we can tell you is that it is what it is and that you've got this,
It is what it is.
odds are you don't. It's just... You don't want me telling you you got this, because that's basically the last resort saying. Absolutely, Gina. It means just get underneath that middle school desk, get underneath that elementary school desk, grab your ankles and kiss your ass goodbye. It's all over.
But think about it. What means you got this from us? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
You can
Come
do
on.
this.
But come on is you got this for
Come
real.
on is you got
if someone
this.
says
Yeah.
come on, that means you actually got it.
Come on. Well,
Come on.
but it's so not helpful.
No.
You got this. Come on, you got this. I don't have it.
Bullshit.
Oh, I've got no answers for you, but you? Yeah,
You
you
got
got
this.
this. Me? No. If I was in your position, fuck.
If you really got it, come on. Come on.
Yeah, and if you think for 1 second you got this, bad things are about to happen. If you ask us Gen Xers, it's going to be bad. Yeah, if you need us to come in and help, well, we will. At the end of the day, if there's something we can do to fix it, we'll fix it. Don't tell us how. Don't argue with us about how we're going to fix it. Don't try to help us help you fix it.
It's done.
Just get out of the way. Let us use whatever MacGyvering tools we choose to use and just have at it. I always hear, who cares? I try so hard not to lie. You don't got this. We screwed up when we did, and we owned it. Well, we had to, because our parents told us all the time, just tell me the truth, and it won't be as bad. Now,
So bad.
well, but that's the thing. I've heard myself tell my kids, if you're honest with me, it won't be bad. And I meant it. It wasn't bad. My parents said, tell me the truth, and it won't be as bad. It wasn't my mom, it's my sister-in-law, and I'm probably going to have to go grab it in a minute. But it's, oh my gosh, it's time for me to close up anyway. It wasn't a lie, Mop Man, because it wasn't as bad if I was honest. It was still bad, because no matter what, it was going to be bad. But it wasn't as bad. So instead of, being, I don't know, a quadruple amputee, it was only my legs. I don't know what to tell you. The MacGyver starter kit, WD-40, and duct tape.
That's all you need. Snorkel.
Let me see. Give me one moment, y'all. All right, I will call last call on this. Got about 5 minutes. Don't forget the paper clips. My big thing, duct tape definitely, WD-40 definitely, super glue. Super glue, if I had to say one thing that was my MacGyver kit growing up, it was glue. Glue of all sorts, super glue, crazy glue, glue, Elmer's glue. I was one of 3 brothers. I was the middle. My older brother was 3 years older, my younger brother was 4 years younger. We broke everything in that house at least once. We just were stupid. We were dumber than dirt. we were a very special kind of stoop when it would take to breaking things. And it got to the point when my mother would pull up in the car and she would smell the glue in the house, and then the game began to see if she could find what we broke or if she could get one of us to break and tell her what we broke. And we wouldn't. We stayed strong. And sometimes she found it and sometimes she didn't. About 3 years ago, she actually saw one of her lamps that she's had for probably 45 years and just realized that we had glued it back together again. I super glued my butt to the couch. Huffing glue back then. Yeah, I remember the term huffing glue. Elmer's glue smells great. It's also fun to put on your hands and then peel it off. That was always fun. But we did. We like, there was nothing like the fear of when you broke something and then getting the pieces, hoping to put them back together again. Oh, it worked for me, Mop, man. It just had to be the super glue, and you got really good at it, and we'd take fine sandpaper and even the excess off the side. We were really good at it. Generation that made warning labels popular. Yeah, started with Mr. Yuck stickers and went from there. Also used it to close open wounds.
What was the mascot for Crazy Glue?
Mascot for Crazy Glue. All I remember is the guy with the guy with the hard hat
Like the
that would be on the
iron
girder.
Yeah.
Yes, and he'd be sitting there holding on to it. Don't forget the connection between Val, Moses, and I won't. Jarts. Guy in the helmet, yeah. All right, guys, listen. For those that did donate this live, I appreciate it so much. Generated $35 today, plus memberships to the account. It all counts. It all helps. Do I have any single friends? I don't know. I'm a married guy for 20 years, so I really don't have a lot of single friends. Rob, again, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Another 5 brings us to a total of 40 even.
Nice.
Thanks, Tipper Gore. Bon Jovi or Whitesnake, I'll go with the jersey. Funky Bottoms coming in at last call with a super chat for $5, asking what dishes and drinks would recommend as an intro to Greek cuisine. Says Efkaristo. Efkaristo means thank you. I'm a big fan of, as far as drinks, nothing like a little bit of ouzo with a little bit of ice. Clouds it, turns it white. As far as food, my favorite dish is pasticcio. It's basically a pasta dish. And then finally, my favorite dessert is baklava. Find someone to make it for you. It's delicious. My mom makes the best. Respect from Australia. Appreciate it. Good night, everybody. Kiwi says, you're welcome. Best investment ever. Appreciate it, dude. Appreciate all of you guys. I will be on again Sunday night at 8 p.m. for the Wonderful World of Generation X. We do it each and every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'll also be live tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. if you get a chance to join me here on YouTube. A Gyro eating contest. Sounds good. 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. I'll be on, Kristen, for an episode of the 3-View Mirror, which I am actually the host. So I am hosting tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. I'll come up with 3. Actually, I've already come up with 3 topics. That's a lie. I'll come up with the last possible second to see if I can stump you all tomorrow and then again on Sunday. Love you guys. Peace. Thank you so much.
Peace.